Micron trades at about $200 today. It's down though around 8% since the last time I covered it. Yet it's still up almost 140% this year. So I have a question for you. Does Micron keep climbing from here, or is this where the momentum dies? Well, let me tell you. Micron, they build the memory that every AI model depends on. And I'm still excited about what they're doing. They're the only company on the planet manufacturing all three types of major memory technologies. They've got more than 60,000 patents. And now they're powering the next generation cars with storage that moves data twice as fast while rolling out data center memory that delivers more capacity and with less energy cost. And then there's a signal I'm watching that I think most of us are ignoring. I mean, everyone is focused on the new tech, but I haven't heard anyone talking about how the recent pullback may be setting Micron up for its next leg higher. And if I'm right, it changes how investors should look at this drop. That's why in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what's really driving Micron's value, what the analysts are saying, and the one metric that tells me whether the stock's worth buying. Hey, what's up? My name is Rick Orford. I've been trading since 1999, and no, I'm not a financial advisor. That's a good thing. I break down the numbers so retail investors like us can make smarter, more confident decisions with our money. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/RickO to get your 10 stock picks right now. Micron builds the memory of the AI world. They're a global leader in memory and storage solutions that help people turn raw data into something useful. Think of the part of the computer system that just remembers what just happened and what it needs to do to be ready next. They help make the parts that make your phone and your computer work seamlessly. And the more the world depends on AI, the more critical this technology becomes. Since 1978, Micron's mission has been to transform how the world uses information to enrich life. And that mission is quietly becoming a massive competitive advantage. Now, Micron grew from a 4-person startup in a dentist's basement into one of the world's largest chip makers who come up with better ways to store and access data. It's one of those stories that reminds you that they've been battle tested and why they still matter today. Micron's CEO drives the company to be the only company that manufactures all three of the major memory and storage technologies, which is a huge deal because customers, they don't have to go to 3 separate vendors anymore. I mean, it means lower friction, lower cost, deeper customer loyalty, and all this absolutely feeds long-term revenue. And Micron's culture pushes both technical innovation and a mindset that talks a lot about integrity, inclusion, and long-term responsibility to customers and communities. Investors tend to overlook culture, but this is one of the reasons Micron survives every cycle. They've got over 60,000 patents, which makes them one of the most influential technology companies making advancements in semiconductors. And patents, they equal pricing power and protection, of course, from competitors, and that's rare in the memory space. Micron's one of the backbone players, keeping the entire system supplied with the memory that it needs to keep growing. And that backbone becomes even more important as every device, every server, and every car demands more throughput than ever before. Now, let's dive into the stock price because probably that's why you're here, right? Today, Micron shares trade just over $200, and that's about 8% less than the last time I covered Micron. However, the stock has grown by almost 140% this year and about 105% over the last 52 weeks, and that shows durability. You can also see that they've had consistent growth over the last 20 years. So long-term runway, short-term pullback. And that combination doesn't happen often. I mean, I see this dip sets up as a potentially interesting buying opportunity for long-term investors. The stock's got a 1.62 beta, which means it moves around 62% more than the S&P 500. And of course, their market cap sits at over $253 billion. So high beta plus mega cap tells you that the market expects big swings and big opportunity. So what's making Micron stock move today? Well, it's something that our group on Discord loves to talk about. And for that, we need to see how the headlines are framing them. So let's dive into the recent coverage. And this is where things start to get fun. Micron is trying to reimagine the brains of smart cars. They announced a new product called Automotive UFS 4.1, which is a type of super fast storage chip for cars that can move data at about twice the speed of the older version. And this extra speed will help cars run AI features like voice assistance and smart safety features. Micron's new technology will also be handling data from cameras and meters used in self-driving cars. And Micron is giving the next generation of cars the fast, durable storage that they need, so all that AI and smart features feel intuitive and safe. And remember, the automotive market is only getting more data hungry every single year. Micron also built a supercharged memory technology for AI data centers. This new technology, called SOCAM2, can hold a lot more data while using less power than before. If it's hard for you to imagine the sheer power of this technology, think of it like this. Think of ChatGPT. I mean, it can now start answering you much faster after you send a prompt, and it'll use less energy than before, meaning companies save money. And to add to that, the design is modular, making it easier for data centers to service and upgrade the memory over time instead of ripping everything out. So lower power plus modular scaling equals lower cost of ownership, which data centers love. But with all these exciting developments, you might be wondering why this stock has been dropping recently. Well, actually, they're not the only ones who are struggling. If you've peeked at your portfolio recently, I know I have, you'd have noticed that the whole chip sector has had a rough time, not just Micron. And this is part of the story that, retail investors tend to overlook. There was a cloud company called CoreWeave that had a delay in their data center process, and as a result, the institutions like JP Morgan downgraded the stock. And this led to other banks dropping their positions, now knowing that things aren't always as bulletproof and you can't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Together, that pressure pulled most of the semiconductors down, including Micron. I mean, this wasn't a Micron problem. This was a sector shock. And even with external factors affecting Micron's value, multiple analysts are still very bullish on Micron. They insist that Micron's value proposition sits firmly within AI data centers, and GPUs need tons of memory. And memory demand tends to lag only one thing: AI growth. And with the AI industry moving along, that demand could be here to stay for a while. For long-term investors, to me, it looks like a lot more like a temporary setback and probably the beginning of a much bigger cycle. And this is why some analysts call memory the pick and shovels of AI. So is Micron stock a buy at these levels? Well, consider that a consensus among 37 analysts have an average strong buy rating with almost perfect score of 4.65 on Micron. And their score has increased over the last few months. Upgrading sentiment during a pullback is usually a bullish signal. Analysts also have a high target price of $325, which suggests as much as 60% of growth from here. And that upside includes the recent volatility. The stock's 60-month beta, of course, could explain the recent drop in price, but if history is to repeat itself, long-term investors will be well taken care of. With new chips that move twice as fast in vehicles and pack more memory with less power in servers, I see Micron as the go-to bet for upgrading technology. Despite the recent drop, Micron has been realizing some serious consistent growth, and there's lots of talk around their success, and I can see it too. Personally, when I see strong buy ratings, a higher target, and a core role in AI infrastructure, I see this drop as volatility doing what volatility does. And those drops are often where the long-term money gets made. But what about you? Are you getting into the action now, or are you waiting on the sidelines? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe because it'll help others find the video, it'll support the channel, and you won't miss out on my next deep dive. Well, folks, that's it for me today. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.